Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome back for episode 7 of our Let's Play of Rise of Insanity. Pretty sure it's episode 7. Last week we ended off in the land of fluffy stuff and that's where we're going to pick it up this week. So we're not too far from the end.
Therapy increasing the intelligence among children.
Teddy's third birthday was great. The party was held in our garden. All dishes and desserts were made from fruits that we picked there. The only thing that got me worried was that Stephen took an active interest in Teddy's mental development. He is only 3 and his father is already forcing him to learn to read. I have to talk to him. Speed walk. Not that the speed walking is really. I can't remember if there was actually meant to be a page or something to pick up there.
The subject handled the experiment very well.
Pretty sure there's nothing on those ones. We don't need to, get another key or anything like that.
I hereby open the trial against Edward about Susan Dowell and
I think at this point you might have started to figure out what's going on. If you have, congratulations. I probably could have read that, but I don't really see the point. I'm pretty sure we read it in an earlier episode. So, just be going over stuff we already know. Aha. Yes. We are in a jail cell. Eventually that will click. There we go. So we can get out. And I believe, that one has the phone, but we can't get into the phone yet. Right, text. Interrogation protocol in the case of the murder of Susan Dowell and Theodore Dowell, suspect Edward Blurry. The interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson. After many attempts to make contact with the suspect, we still do not have any information. The accused is constantly smiling and indistinctly repeating a sentence that reads, "The nightmares have stopped." His gaze is absent. He does not maintain eye contact with the interlocutor. He probably does not make anything of the position that he is in. Without the presence of a forensic psychologist, we are not able to obtain more information. It is assumed that the case will be closed with an insanity plea. So, the gardener killed the wife and son.
Good. So maybe you would tell us about your authorial therapy. What do you think, Mr. Dow? Can you hear me? It's better now, isn't it? So, can we continue? Great. Did you know that Susan Dow was pregnant?
Revelations. John, I know that tomorrow is Bowman's shift, so I've hidden the key for the door switches in a safe place. Don't tell him anything. Let's drive him nuts for a while. So, we need a key for that. Interrogation Protocol. In the case of the murder of Susan Dow and Theodore Dow, suspect Edward Blurry. The interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson and forensic psychologist Miss Vanessa Green. Thanks to Mrs. Vanessa, or Miss Vanessa, we have managed to come into contact with the suspect. It has been established that he is single. He worked as a gardener for the Dow family. He said that for the last months he had been taking part in a therapy and that it was to cure him from his split personality disorder. He admitted that he killed his wife and child, but, as he emphasized, he had done it in his dream because Dr. Dow had told him to do so. It had been part of his therapy. We have finally figured it out. It is necessary to speak with Dr. Dow. I'm guessing that that's a chemical and stuff. I don't think there was anything this side. There's another ink blot here. Ow. Yeah. One of the things I thought was really weird about this was like the mustard gas and stuff. Mustard gas was like used in, I think it was World War One, but I'm pretty sure it had been outlawed by World War Two. So it's kind of weird to have, like, you know, posters up about it. Interrogation Protocol. In the case of the murder of Susan Dow and Theodore Dow, witness Stephen Dow. The interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson. The suspect is shocked. There is no rational contact with him. It is understandable in his position. He hasn't said anything new. After the murder, there were many different comments from the psychology world and the press. The witness has only mentioned that his therapy for curing a mental split disorder has been very ineffective. He hasn't commented on that. And then over here is the lock. Now, I believe we can't get into the lock yet because the combination is in this room. Another weird poster. If there's anything else to pick up there. Right. So it gives you like a Morse code thing. And I know that it seems a bit weird, like, you know, why? And then this tells you the way to do the combination. So it's right, left, right. And in order to get the combination, you need to listen to this. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, and you look at this, I think the combination is 327. And there you go. That gives you the key. And then we power walk back to this bit over here. Flick the switch. And then we get to answer the phone again.
Listen, Bowman, give me some creeps, Doctor. I won't manage alone.
And now we are in, well, you'll find out. Tune issue. The examination conducted by Dr. Maslow's team should not be taken into consideration during the investigation. Dr. Maslow could influence the examination in order to help his friends, Dr. Bandura says. Dr. Dowell was known for his controversial methods of treatment, and is in fact, in the past, he was probably led to a patient's death, he adds. Very badly written English, but yeah. In the past, as we've already heard in the game, the character Dr. Stephen Dowell was responsible for the death, or believed responsible for the death of one of his patients. There we go. There's another newspaper here to pick up. June issue. The tragic events from my friend's past had a very bad influence on his mental health condition, says Dr. Abraham Maslow, friend of the accused, suspected of manipulating Dr. Stephen Dowell, which in turn has led him to murder his family. I deny the rumours saying that Stephen pretended to have a mental incompetence. I have examined him. He was also examined by other psychologists and psychiatrists who were strange to him, Dr. Maslow adds.
I hereby open the trial against Edward about Susan Dowell and Theodore Dowell's murder. Do the prosecutor and counsel wish to say anything before the trial is started?
I would like to enclose the report about my client's insanity to the evidence, as well as recordings made by Dr. Dowell during the therapy.
Mr. Edward, could you tell us about the relation that was between you and Mrs. Susan Dowell, Dr. Stephen Dowell's wife, that tried to cure you? I would like to enclose documents from Susan Dowell's autopsy to the evidence. Basing on these, Your Honor, as well as the jury can get to know that the victim was pregnant with the defendant.
Text. Interrogation protocol in the case of the murder of Susan Dowell and Theodore Dowell. Suspect, Stephen Dowell. The interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson and forensic psychologist Mr. Richard Jackson. After the appearance of new evidence, which is Susan Dowell's autopsy protocol, we have come to know that she was in the first month of pregnancy. Furthermore, the father of the child is suspect Edward Blurred. We have established that Stephen had a motive and the skills to manipulate Edward. During interrogation, the suspect showed lack of contact with his interlocutors, which I'm guessing is interrogators. He experienced ambivalent states, from hysteria attacks to complete apathy. During interrogation, the accompanying psychologist came up with a thesis about Mr. Dowell's insanity, which might have been caused by many traumatic experiences in a short period of time. Pretty sure we approach the bench.
I open the trial against Stephen Dowell about malpractice against Edward, who caused Susan and Theodore Dowell's death. Do the prosecutor and counsel wish to say anything before the trial is started?
My client, as a doctor, always takes care about patients' welfare. In the enclosed evidence, Your Honor may read about many difficult cases that have been cured by the defendant. He was trying to cure his protege at any cost to ease the pain.
I would like to enclose to the evidence the description of one therapy conducted by the defendant, which, as we can read, also finished with a failure. The girl, with similar illness like Edward, who under the influence of the therapy made suicide.
And did the defendant realize that his wife was pregnant, not with him, but with Edward?
So now we know the motive for the murder. I don't think there's anything else to pick up around here. Yep. The phone is ringing, so we go to the next stage. Yes. And now we are quite obviously in a psychiatric hospital. So we just have to wait. There we go. For the door to open. And then we can carry on. Now I'm just going to push through to the end of the game because there's no point, like stopping and starting a new one because there's really not enough game left. I'm hoping that once the the loading screens and stuff are removed, it'll keep it down to an okay time. Whoops. Completely walked on the wrong side of the door there. And I think around here is like the last thing to pick up. Text. Mother and 7-year-old son murdered. Woman receives 30 stab wounds 2 days after the child is strangled during sleep. The father of the family is the one responsible for the commission of all these horrible acts.
How are you feeling today? Everything's okay? I think it's time to show you something. Let's go to the next room. Have a seat and make yourself comfortable.
So, if you haven't figured out, the full ending yet, the one that I suspected when I first played this, you're about to find out what the, like the shock ending is.
Our relationship started to pass away suddenly. Stephen treated me like a lodger, unwanted person, with whom he lived because it was a kind of interest. And I started to live on memories and projections that were so beautiful in my head, so perfect. Stephen was in them like years before, like when we moved into our new house and we planned to make a big garden, only for us. These memories made me stronger, helped me to survive, and wait for tomorrow with hope. First time, I thought that maybe I'm only dreaming, or the projections about him became ridiculously strong. He came to me like before, smiling, happy, with sparkles in his eyes. Similar situations repeated in the next weeks, and I, instead of looking for their source, was waiting till my loving Stephen came back, just for a while, to feel like before, like years ago. At the beginning of our relationship, Stephen often told me about interesting things from the psychology ward. During his studies, he met with a case of a patient with multiple personalities. I remember well this case because it seemed to be very exciting. So many different personalities in one body that differ in IQ, beliefs, talents, and even visual acuity. I hid my husband's illness to meet with Eddie, his second personality, to feel happy just for a while, to fulfill my dreams. During our romance, we often met in the garden. Today, I again talked with Eddie. He is in very bad condition. Stephen's therapy started to even scare him, he says. He must make terrible things to be cured and finally take a breath. As a last resort, I will send this recording to Abraham.
So, now you know. Eddie and Stephen are the same person. I started to figure this out when I first played the game. Maybe a third or so of the way in. I started to have my suspicions. And I was really hoping that my suspicions weren't, right. I still don't actually know why we have the rubber duck thing, but, rubber duck thing. This way. I will warn you, there's about to be like a jump scare. Oh, I thought there was a giant baby in that room. Maybe that was another point. So, I think this part of the game is like, in a way, Stephen accepting things. It takes a little bit for the gate behind us to unlock. There we go. And this is the end song, so I'll go quiet while it plays.
It doesn't feel like home anymore. But I will stay here in those walls. My beloved house, drawn
I can't believe this. This is the exact same glitch that I got last time. So, I'm not going to, try to fix it. Basically, that is the end of the game. When it cuts out at the end there, the music should continue to play, which it has done. But it should go to the credits. And it hasn't gone to the credits. For some reason, every once in a while it hits this glitch where it doesn't seem to register that. So it should just go to the credits. And the last time I recorded this, that's what happened, or this is what happened. It kept resetting to this point, and every time I redid the thing, it just kept resetting to this point. So, yeah, that is basically how the game ends. You jump off that cliff, or you fall off that cliff, which I believe is his, his acceptance of what he's done, and that final sort of, I don't know, fall into insanity, accepting it. It's a very weird game. Like I said, it's probably more a game that works for playing it as opposed to actually watching it. But, some people are never going to play the game. So this gives you a way of experiencing it. Yeah. So I don't know what the next game will be because I haven't made that decision yet. But I hope that you enjoyed this Let's Play of Rise of Insanity. And next week we start something else. I don't know what that something else is yet, but we'll find out when we get there. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.